So in this video, I'm going to give you information of how I was gymming shoulder wrong and how science-based method changed my perspective. And on this video, I learned from great well-known figures, which is Jeff Nippard and Dr. Israetel. How I was gymming was the exercises I picked randomly on the internet, and they were complicated, and most of them I learned to realize that they were focusing on the same muscles and which didn't require much volume. So on the science base, I learned that there are methods which are safe, they are reliable, they are well studied, and most importantly, they are gradable because they come from people who made research and who have the detail who have.
The first exercise is the common one, seated dumbbell press. As I was doing this exercise, it was not my first time, but it felt different. It felt different because right now I had to move slow. My negative has to be controlled, which means when I'm going down, I shouldn't just drop the weight. It should be controlled, and I could feel more effect than how I was just lifting it up and down. At this point, it was getting hard on the weight I used to lift easily. So yeah, I was done.
Seated dumbbell press. This exercise was recommended by Jeff Nippard for front delt, and actually this is not the first exercise he recommended. He recommended machine shoulder press, which the machine they were using was unilateral, which means you gym one side at a time. And for instance, to explain the concept of unilateral and bilateral. Bilateral means that you are gymming both sides at the same time. For instance, if you're using a bar is you're gymming both sides at the same time, because if the one hand get heavy, the other can still lift the weight to support the other. But if I'm using dumbbell, which means if my left hand is tired or is tense, I won't be able to lift on it. And its benefits, the benefit of it, which Jeff Nippard also mentioned in the video, is that if you're a person who feel like there's an imbalance or on your muscles, gymming you in a unilateral way helps you to push the other side to its limit.
This is our machine shoulder press. As you can see, it's connected there, which means is bilateral. The other shoulder can lift even if the other is tired. That's why we use the seated dumbbell press. Moving to the next exercise, dumbbell rise. This one I think is amazing. With the amazing exercise, and it has more effect on that 135 degree and around here at 45 degree. And when you move it that slow, it has more impact. And on this exercise, I was supposed to use easy bar and empty easy bar because I didn't have access to those. I ended up making my own exercise, and I called it dumbbell rise. Works perfectly fine, and as you can see, I'm trying, I'm pushing. Yes, come on. It was getting high. You can see from that 45 degree all up to 135. That's where the real game changer get. I was getting tired. Yeah, I was getting tired, but at the same time, I was also enjoying the exercise. So I decided to keep on moving, even though it was getting intense. Oh, I couldn't push it anymore. Let me see. The relentless me won't give up. Keep on moving, keep on moving. This was actually me. I work hard. Yes, yes. Yeah. At this point,
I did my own way because his first exercise was easy front rises, which means that I had to carry only a easy bar, lifted front, and I didn't have, I didn't get easy bar without weight. And for that exercise, it was gonna be heavy if I had to insert weight. And the other exercise he recommended was cable rises, which also I didn't have. So I ended up using barbells, which I felt were doing the same thing. If I was following the instruction, he recommended that you must roll the negative so that it could count more. And I did so, and I felt pumped. So it was also effective with the exercise that I chose, which was my.
Here I'm doing super warm lateral rises. As you can see, it goes beyond than the usual lateral rises. So I had to ensure that my shoulder is aligned with my dumbbells, that I do not twist my arms when I go high. So that's where my focus was. Here you see my arms rise as straight as they are, and it was already getting intense. Something that surprised me the most is that when I'm doing these exercises like this, they happen to be, I carry less weight than I usually do.
Super warm lateral rises. This exercise was recommended by Dr. Israel, and it's for side delts, and it goes beyond how most people do lateral rises and how you control negative. When I was doing these exercises, I feel like on one rep I was doing two, and I couldn't do more weight that I used to do on my regular lateral rises. So it was the best exercise, and you were getting pumped instantly.
Here I want to give you a moment to get the exercise. The exercise. Okay, it's a cross body cable Y rise. The reason why I'm asking this is because it was hard for me to remember it even after I saw it. So if you guessed it right, that means you knew it. So yeah, on this exercise is really a beautiful exercise, and how you raise your hand and how it comes back crossing your body, and as our science researcher recommended, you should ensure that you stretch your arm and you rise high. And he loved this concept of controlling your negative. As you can see, when I go low, I go slower, because usually on his video he will count a rep even if he didn't go as high, but as long as he controlled the negative, which means that how you drop the weight count also more. So yeah, it was getting intense.
Crossbody cable wire rise. If you are a fan, and this one you will know who it came from. Yeah, it came from Jeff Nippard. So this one is it's also slightly different because I realize he focuses more on how you control your negative, and most people don't do that. They focus on rising, and as you control your negative, like going lower when you're lowering the weight where there is less tension, when you go lower, it actually gives you more pump, and it increases your stability, the control you have on the weight. Yeah, it's about control, that having control on the weight, and it also add up. It makes that your negative to also count. So that was it for our side delts. But the most important detail is that you should focus more on your side delts, as they are the one who makes your shoulder look broader and 2D shaped to stick out. Yeah. Um, yeah. Some people think that, yeah, to one thing that makes your shoulders to look narrow is because of your traps, but no, if you gym your side delts more, your shoulder get to stick, and even your traps can appear perfectly fine. So if you know you're one of those people with narrow shoulders, you need to focus more on your side delts. And it's not the problem of of your physique. It's mostly how you've been gymming shoulder. Maybe the exercise you're doing, they have been focusing more on front or rear delts.
This exercise is super wrong reverse cable fly, and it's an amazing exercise. As I was doing it, I liked it, I enjoyed it, and I could feel my back. The one thing I was struggling with was my stability, as the weight was making me lose control, and I like it when it gets hard like that. I enjoy it more because I like challenge at the gym. I like it when it gets hard like that, when the tension gets more and more and more. That's when I see I'm gymming. So, but I think I'll have to get used to this weight so that I can start enjoying this exercise. But it's an amazing exercise to do, and focuses more exactly on your rear delts.
Super Rom reverse cable fly. That one focuses on your rear delts, the rear delts. And this exercise was recommended by Dr. Israetel. And as I was doing it, I was excited when I was learning about it. It seems like one of the cool exercises to do, but I was struggling more when I was at the gym. And yeah, mainly because I couldn't lift the minimum weight. So as I couldn't lift the minimum weight, I was struggling with stability and doing the exercise properly. But I think it did work for the least reps I did. But next,
This one is reverse pec deck. As I was doing it, I was feeling it. I could say, on my opinion, this one is number one exercise for the rear delts. As you can see, and it's more awkward. If this machine was not made for this exercise, it was gonna be more awkward, as facing that direction is really create an awkward atmosphere. But the exercise is amazing, and as you can see, it was now getting hard for me. I had to get up.
our final exercise for rear delts recommended by Jeff Nippard is reverse pec deck. And one thing I've realized is I learned later on that I should have been twisted my arms and molded the handle from the outside like this to make it feel better, but I still felt it good. And I was also struggling with the machine, but it's the best exercise I will say for adults. And one thing you need to learn to know is that rear delts are also similar to front delts. As you gym your back, they get more volume, so you do not need to gym them that much, which means that your 2D shape shoulders, they are held back by your side delts because they are the ones which sticks out. So you need to focus more. Maybe you can do 4 instead of 2 exercises or 3. But if you want broader shoulders, you need to focus more on your side delts. So before I end this video, I want to take a moment to send my condolences to Jeff Nippard and the family members during this hard time.